Nerdette's NewsStand, and I know I made my video yesterday about the Zoe Quinn and Alec Holowka situation that has kind of been unfolding in front of our eyes. Well, I said at the end of my video I was not probably going to do any more relating to this situation, but this made my hair literally stand on end. This is a old post from Alec Holowka from October of 2016. So just about 3 years ago. It's not the fact that he made a post, it's what is inside of it that is absolutely terrifying and just beyond creepy at the same time. The man predicted his own death. And I'm going to go through this, but it is absolutely terrifying to think that this person lived with the fact for damn near 3 years that people were trying to hurt him, that people were trying to drive him to the point of suicide. Like, living with that would be horrendous. I cannot even imagine what he went through. But let's take a look. It says, "Hello, I just turned 33. So his birthday was literally coming up. The man died before his birthday. Wow. I wanted to take a break from frantically making music for my video game to write about this particular birthday. This is a bit hard to write, as it feels almost like a coming out of sorts. For a good chunk of a year, so 4 years he felt like this, I felt like I wasn't going to make it to 33. The last couple of years have been incredibly shitty. But what about them is so hard to get over? It's something that's been hard to explain to others, but I'd like to make an attempt at it. Have you ever had that feeling that your life is in danger? There may have been a really clear reason for it, say something medical, or it could have been an assumption, walking on the street alone at night, seeing a stranger coming towards you. I think everybody knows the feeling he's talking about. Your mind and body react in a certain way when it happens, like you get activated, put on survival mode. I think he's specifically trying to describe maybe the fight or flight feeling that you get. The other key to emphasize with me is this. Have you ever believed something very strongly, so much that it is natural as believing in gravity or every other day occurrence? The exception being that nobody else seems willing to believe it. If you have experienced certain religious or spiritual beliefs, you may be able to relate. Now, this is where it gets really freaking weird. So, for the last couple of years or so, I've been dealing what is referred to DBT theory or distorted belief. I'm putting distorted in quotations because I don't intuitively believe like it's necessarily all that distorted. It's certainly hard for me to think of it as distorted because it seems as natural as everything in daily life. Here's the distorted belief. I believe that certain people in the indie game community want me dead. There it is. I believe that certain people in the indie game community want me dead. He predicted his death 3 years before it happened. Now, what does that mean exactly? Doesn't mean I think they're going to walk up and stab me in the back with a knife at some point. No, I believe that they're trying to covertly hurt me and my career to the point where I'm driven to suicide. So not only did he predict his death, he predicted the way it was going to happen 3 years before it happens. Like, that is mind-boggling to me. Literally terrifying. Now, probably 99% of you are freaked out by this, but keep in mind, I'm actually living with it daily. As pure as exercise and empathy, imagine you had to live with that fear of being attacked whenever you started working on something you love. For some reason, I'm still working as a game developer, and I still take my games to conferences that these monster people attend. Now, he doesn't specifically say who these monster people are, but I have a good, clear imagination, and I can kind of put the pieces together. The real question here is, does my reasonings hold up? It goes something like this. These people commit actions and create circumstances that lead me to suicidal ideations. They are smart people who are capable of predicting what results their action would cause. Therefore, it would be either A, they wanted that outcome, or B, had just been indifferent to the outcome that occurred. Both seem pretty horrendous to me, given the nature of the outcome, given the nature that the outcome is literally him committing suicide. And these monster people he was afraid of causing him get to that point. Isn't that kind of what we've seen unfold in the last week? Like, this is beyond what I can even describe as weird. The potential flaws in the reasoning, these people may not have accurately predicted the outcome of their actions. I find this extremely doubtful. Yeah, so do I, but it's possible. It's also possible in this case that they simply decided to shut off their empathy, and he calls it sociopathic. Yeah, that's exactly what having no empathy would be, and that's exactly the type of behavior we have seen. There also the question of whether someone can be responsible. Now, this is kind of where the question rises. Is somebody else responsible when they directly lead to those sorts of feelings? He says, are they responsible for causing suicidal thoughts to occur in another person? Or if they can be responsible for creating the situation where suicide is likely an outcome. Now, personally, I feel like everybody is responsible for their own actions. You're responsible for your own feelings. Don't let anybody else make you feel to the point where you get these suicidal ideations. But then again, I have never been in a position that this man has been. He went through 3 years thinking that this was going to happen. When it happened, he knew what was going to go on. Like, he literally knew the steps. He knew these people wanted him out of, the world, and then out of the indie game development industry. So, this also leads me to another question. Was this, his prediction? Did he actually predict what would happen, or is this a self-fulfilling prophecy? Did he always think that, maybe there was a chance, but when it actually happened, when these allegations actually come out, was he like, yep, I called it, that's it, I'm done? Like, there is always a catch-22 when it comes to this thing, but just to read this is hair-raising. What are those real results? He even talks about how he's easily triggered by simple things because of post-traumatic stress disorder. And he talks about hearing about and seeing various projects he worked on with these people, these monster people, hearing their names mentioned, seeing photos of them. And it talks about how it turns social media into a minefield. Now, before he passed away, I am not for sure how long, but he did have his social media on lockdown. But that doesn't make it any easier. Just because it is privated does not mean people do not have the capability of following him, being approved, stuff like that to get to him. So there's always ways to reach people. There's two last parts I want to talk about in this. He says one particular memory that came to mind in being told this phrase, I don't believe in you. He literally said he wanted help. He wanted to seek therapy, seek counseling to get better. And he was told they didn't believe in him, that any sort of help would be futile, that it would not work in his favor. What kind of a monster actually says that to another person? But the best part of this is he says, so I'm kind of proud of myself for surviving this thing. For a few months, I honestly didn't think I would. At one point in this man's life, he was proud of himself for getting up every morning, making his bed, going about his normal daily routine. And come 3 years, he's not able to because of accusations with no proof, because of the court of public opinion. All of these things are gone. When he predicted it in the beginning, in this, I can't even describe how weird this is to me. Like, this is honestly one of those things that is so rare to be seen that there is no way to describe it. I don't know. I just wanted to share this. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you want to help support the channel, make sure you check out the links to my Subscribe Star and to my Patreon in the description. And I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreons, General Sod, who has a YouTube channel, Robert Troy Reiser, Grand Smear, Black Knight Fool, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Earth Citizen 09, Mike, and Brucey. Thank you guys so much. You keep the channel up and running. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.